Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
56-year-old Ohio resident John Wright owned a charter bus business, and he used Facebook to organize and encourage others to join him on his buses on a trip to D.C. In fact, he reported and noted on Facebook that all of his buses were filled. They were sold out. On January 5th of 2021, Wright wrote on Facebook in all caps, quote, "Today we take Georgia. Tomorrow we take back our country. Sound familiar?" Later that day, he messaged another Facebook user, and he stated, again in all caps, quote, "We are going to have to fight the blue tomorrow. From what I seen tonight, the tempers will be up tomorrow and police lines will be breached. We have to push through." He also told this person, quote, "The first mistake they make in chambers, we are going in and drag them out. Hope I make it through." The same day, Wright shared an image on Facebook for people traveling to D.C. on the 6th, and the image was a promotion for another event on January 17th that was described as a, quote, "armed march on Capitol Hill and all state capitals." And it stated, quote, "Come armed at your personal discretion." On January 6th, Wright wrote to another Facebook contact, quote, "Almost wartime." And then the contact falsely stated in part, quote, "They are stealing Georgia runoffs as we speak." So Wright replied, quote, "I know, that will be the second battlefield." And again, all of his messages are in all caps. This guy is constantly yelling at people on social media. Anyway, this person mentioned to Wright that the lawmakers would try to sneak out through the tunnels at the Capitol and said, "People need to find the tunnel exits and get them." To which Wright replied, quote, "Done, all planned out." And when Wright and the others arrived at D.C., they went straight to the Capitol, and he and his companions were seen on video. They were seen in photos. They were standing right at the front of the police line behind barricades. And then Wright was seen and heard on video yelling at officers, and he started pushing against them and pushing against the fencing. Then he and other people in the front lifted the barricades off the ground, and they were, again, seen on video, seen in photos, pushing these barricades into the officers. Then Wright later shared a photo of that crime. As it was happening, he shared that with a Facebook friend, and he proudly pointed out that, "Oh, I'm the one in the red hoodie." So this barricade battle went on for some time, and then the police line was eventually breached by a second group of Trump supporters. And then at that point, Wright followed the mob. He went to the east front stairs. He was live streaming to Facebook. In this video, he stated, quote, "We are in the house. All we got to do is get the door down now. We're going to drag their stupid asses out. Yep, that's the stairwell. It took a lot of beating, but we got in here." In another video, he boasted about all of the so-called patriots that were there. And he said, quote, "You're damn right it's our house. Them's gotta go. Time to get rid of the criminals." So at some point, other members of the mob who had gotten into the Capitol through another entrance went over and they opened the east front doors from the inside. And then Wright was seen on surveillance video illegally entering the Capitol. He continued to live stream from inside. He sat down at one point. He smoked a cigarette on a bench, and then he exited the Capitol. On January 7th, Wright was interviewed by a local news outlet, and he said, quote, "We didn't burn nothing down. We didn't kill nobody." He also claimed that he was, quote, "beaten by cops." And then Wright said that he was, quote, "part of a peaceful demonstration." But in the next breath, he admitted that the crowd, quote, "pushed and entered the Capitol building." And Wright told the reporter, quote, "Yesterday wasn't the end. Yesterday was the first battle of the war. I promise you." That same day, someone contacted the FBI and said that he or she had spoken to Wright, and Wright told that person that he planned to go back to D.C. on the 17th with weapons. Wright allegedly told this person that he was, quote, "going to get them this time." And also on January 7th, Wright messaged numerous Facebook contacts, and he stated, quote, resting up for the next battle, getting too old to be a frontliner, and quote, it's fucking wartime, no more protesting. And when someone asked if he was going to go back to DC, he replied, quote, loaded. And then he said that they should start going to elected officials' homes and, quote, I think we need to make home visits. So Wright also updated his Facebook status that day, and he wrote, quote, yesterday was a practice run. And in a message on January 8th, Wright admitted that they weren't let in, but he said, quote, I don't know how they can prove anything. There were millions of people there. These people have never heard of cameras. That's all I can come up with. On February 9th, as Trump's second impeachment started, Wright made a lot of disparaging remarks online about the witnesses, about the lawmakers, and he wrote, quote, too bad they are still breathing. And then on February 23rd, Wright wrote, quote, I know it would take a long time to recover from, but there is only one way to go, war. What we need is a reset. 1776 can't do harm 6 feet under. I guess I am just a radical. I know it doesn't sound good, but I would love to see Pearl Harbor happen in DC. If the planes on 9/11 would have hit DC, we would be better off right now. I think I'm becoming anti-government. In between all of this, on January 11th of 2021, the FBI interviewed Wright, and he lied to them about entering the Capitol. He also claimed that he had no intention of going back to D.C. on the 17th. And the FBI also later discovered that Wright had removed all of his incriminating videos from Facebook. So Wright was arrested on May 3rd of 2021, and he was charged with civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, 2 counts of physical violence, parading in a Capitol, and making a false statement to a federal agent, which is the first time we've seen that. In August of 2022, Wright pleaded guilty to obstructing an official proceeding. So he was facing up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor requested only 60 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. Now, I will say, normally when a defendant didn't cause physical harm to an officer, the requested sentence it would be even lower. That would be typical. But in this case, the prosecutor actually asked for a sentencing enhancement. And they said it was because of all of the threats that he made both before and after the Capitol attack. As for Wright's criminal history, he doesn't have any convictions, but he does have numerous arrests. They were all the way back in the 1990s, though. He had 4 arrests for disorderly conduct, and then he had 1 arrest for assault and domestic violence. I know you guys are shocked. Wright spoke at the sentencing hearing, and he told the judge, quote, I want to apologize for my actions, not just to you, but to the government, to fellow Americans. I was there and am responsible for it. So U.S. District Judge Colleen Kollar-Kotelly presided over Wright's case, and she did mention that he's only the second January 6th defendant to come before her who actually apologized in her courtroom. Then the judge also said, quote, our democracy is fragile, and certainly the insurrection has made that clear. When all was said and done, Judge Kollar-Kotelly sentenced Wright to 49 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. I am a little shocked that he didn't get the full 60 months given who the judge is, but this is a respectable sentence. So I'll take it. And I'd like to order about 700 more for the people behind him. So anyway, guys, if I hear any more, I'll let you know. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate, even if it's one time, or become a monthly supporter if you can. It truly helps to keep the show going forward. And I love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.